Captain.
From the Buccaneer, sir. Request one more low pass up your starboard side.
Now make back negative. Regret must now maneuver for next serial. And thank you for a most useful exercise.
Roger, sir.
I don't want those boys coming around the bows while I'm turning.
No. Could be rather too spectacular.
Bridge, PWO. Message passed to the Buccaneers and acknowledged.
Port 15.
Port 15.
Midships, starboard 15.
Midship, starboard 15.
Yes, Tom.
This draft signal to focus now royal, sir. Not the Buccaneer.
Young idiot.
I don't think we can let it go, sir. Ship was under wheel. It could have been very nasty.
No question. Apart from dangerous flying, it was willful disobedience.
Utter madness.
Then he can plead insanity at his court-martial.
Look you in the eyes instead of the back of your bone dome.
I told you, forget it.
Just like that. Do you think the CO didn't notice that you suddenly went missing? Think they're all blind and deaf on the Bridge of Blake?
Well, where is the boss, anyway?
Up in Flyco, I guess. Telling Commander Air he's got a kamikaze in the squadron. Eddy.
Lay off, Frank. You don't like flying with me, ask for another pilot.
What makes you think you'll be doing any flying in the near future?
That is hardly an explanation.
No, sir.
I know the approach to Portsmouth pretty well myself by now.
Yes.
But I would still like to be aware of changes to the buoy pattern. The main channel is no place to sit and debate the accuracy of your charts.
No, sir.
If we'd gone aground, it would have been a court-martial for both of us. You realise that?
Yes, sir.
Now, do I have to do your chart corrections for you?
No, sir.
Or are you going to assume the responsibility that goes with your rank and your job?
It won't happen again, sir.
Thank you.
Come in.
So. Navigating officer, how does he? I found it.
Pulverized.
He's painfully conscientious these days.
I know.
Was there any real danger?
None at all. Knew all about that boy.
So?
Remember seeing the signal on the log? But it could have been dodgy if I hadn't noticed the correction. And if it had been a strange port.
Paul would have double-checked.
Well, now he'll double-check every time.
It's a short, sharp lesson.
Derek, junior officers do daft things. Some, like getting married, are their own problem. Others, like hazarding lives and the ship, are mine.
And it is the time to thump them.
Thump them and thump them hard.
Aye, aye, sir.
Estimated height of 30 feet. Well, I've nothing to say, sir. Oh, don't be a fool. Eddy, Admiral Chandy was on board Blake, Chief of Staff to the fleet. A four-ring captain, dozens of officers and ratings. They're all capable, competent witnesses. I don't dispute the facts, sir. Then would you care to explain? No, sir. Frank?
I'm just the guy in the back seat, sir.
All right. Clean into number 5s, both of you. See if you can look like naval officers, even if you can't behave like them.
Now, cheer up, Paul. I feel like jacking it all in.
Oh, because you got a rocket?
Because it's unfair. You are the navigator. I didn't get a copy of the signal.
Suit and lamp, please. Are you shown on the distribution?
Well, I didn't get it.
Did you tell the captain that?
No.
Why not?
Well, it sounds like an excuse.
It is.
I can't very well say to the captain, don't blame me, sir, blame the main signals office. Besides, I've no evidence they didn't deliver my copy.
Well, they've no evidence they did.
No, precisely. Whoever said you're innocent until proven guilty should try working for Commander Alan Glenn.
Town will be full of airy fairies again.
I heard that. You're going visiting tonight, sir?
I may take a stroll round, look at a phantom, remind myself what it's all about.
All what, sir?
Well, anyone can drive a frigate, even Derek.
After a fashion.
Thanks very much.
Oh, there you are. Do you live in this briefing room? Just keeping out of the way of the wardroom and the cabins.
Why?
People keep asking me daft questions.
Like?
Is my pilot really on LSD, or does he fly with a bottle of scotch?
Very funny.
Glad you think so.
I'm for the chop, you know.
I know. Had to give Wings a signed statement.
He sent me for a medical examination.
And?
Well, the doc reckons I'll live.
Better get yourself a good lawyer, mate.
Yes. I looked up the penalties for dangerous flying.
Yes?
Imprisonment for any term, or any less punishment authorized by the Act.
Imprisonment.
Well, it'll be dismissal from the service, probably.
It's almost as bad. With dangerous flying on your record, British Airways aren't going to rush you into a jumbo jet. What does Wings have to say now?
Not much. He's gone over to Blake, see Admiral Chandy.
You're not suggesting we ignore the whole thing?
He's a first-class young officer, sir. And an excellent pilot. Steady, intelligent.
Dangerous. Now, you can't get away from the facts, Cleveland. A Buccaneer weighing, what, 60,000 pounds, say 25 tons, doing 300 knots, and we were starting to turn.
He could have killed 100 people. More. No, I'm sorry, Cleveland. I know that Fleet Air Arm loyalties are legendary, but... Anyway. I don't convene courts-martial. The facts have been reported.
Your recommendation, sir?
If I made one, which I won't, it would be that your young man should never again set foot on a flight deck, let alone an aircraft.
No, but he feels you're being unjust, that you're pounding his ear because...
All right. In future, Paul's signature must be obtained on all signals relating to navigational matters, classified or not.
And in this instance?
Case is closed, forgotten.
Not by Paul.
Tough. If he thinks I'm going to... Come in. Eddie, what are you doing here?
Oh, just come to see what life's like aboard a fleet tender.
Cheeky devil. Derek Beaumont, my first lieutenant.
Oh, how do you do, sir?
Eddy Glenn, my brother.
Oh, how do you do? Another airy-fairy, I see.
Second division, flies Buccaneers, not Phantoms.
Well, buy British, fly British.
Nice to meet you.
And you, sir.
Oh, Derek, you can tell our wounded navigator that I believe every word he says.
Right.
Still drinking horse's neck?
Oh, yes, please.
Sit down.
Thanks.
Oh, I've been meaning to write.
Ah, don't bother. I've seen it.
What?
The rest of my car.
Oh, you've been home?
Yes. And I painted the garage doors in luminous paint so that you can't miss it.
Well, I didn't miss it last time. I'll give you a check.
Yes, and I'll give you some advice.
What?
You can't drive a car with both hands on a bird.
I can try. Cheers.
Cheers.
Anyway, how's life in the mighty army?
Oh, 892's gone down the drain since you left.
Of course, now lacks dynamic leadership from the top.
Less bent aircraft, though.
Oh, I know what I was going to
Oh,
ask you.
Alan. This isn't a social call.
No?
I want you to defend me.
Defend you against who?
Court-martial. I want you as defending counsel.
Court-martial?
Well, they haven't charged me as yet, but it's coming.
But charged with what?
Dangerous flying, I think.
You? Dangerous? What did you do?
Low, fast, and unauthorized pass over Her Majesty's ship Blake.
Are they going to do you for it?
Well, it was very low and very fast.
Well, why didn't you ask for permission? Fishheads always say yes. Gives them a vicarious thrill.
We asked, they said no. You see, the ship was maneuvering.
And you went ahead? Disobeyed? Why?
I don't know.
You must know you were flying the cap.
Okay, it was an impulse.
And you want me to defend you?
Well, I can ask for any officer who's reasonably available. Now, you're a pilot, ex-CO of a Phantom Squadron, captain of a frigate.
But not Perry Mason. What's your defense?
My annual reports, my flying record.
Mitigation. We'll get you a barrister.
Look,
I'll lend you the money.
I want you.
Why?
Because you're my brother.
Ah, is that the convening signal for the court-martial?
Paul and I get honourable mentions. I'm to be a member of the court.
And I'm to be Provost Marshal.
Yes, I know.
Well, why me? It should be someone from the Ark Royal, his own ship.
Well, this is his ship. Or it will be. He's being accommodated here while he's under open arrest.
Oh?
Yeah, Captain worked it so they can prepare a defence.
What defense?
Now, don't talk about it in front of me. I have to be impartial.
Wardroom, navigating officer.
Aye, aye, sir.
Captain wants to see you.
Right.
Ask him how he feels about junior officers getting clobbered now.
You still on about that?
I'd like justice.
No, wouldn't we all? Yes, sir. Ah, Section 20.
Section 12, willful disobedience.
Eh? They'd get him on that.
I don't see why not. The order was legal, capable of being carried out, and understood by the accused. Eddy's admitted that he heard the refusal on radio.
God.
Sit down, Derek.
Thanks.
Mind having your ear bashed?
No, not if it'll help.
There's no one else I can talk to. Eddie's clammed up completely.
And doesn't he want to get off?
That's what I'd like to know. If he wanted to get out of flying...
He could go and knock on Commander Ayer's door and say so.
Yes, except that I know my brother. Even as a kid, he'd never admit to fear, to being afraid of anything.
And it's more honourable to be discharged by court-martial.
Eddie might think so. Brandy?
Oh, thank you very much.
You see, that way no one could ever point the finger at him. Say he ducked out of flying.
Especially if it was an act of great bravado. As far as you know, does Eddie like flying?
Lives and breathes it, and is very good at it.
So he didn't join the Fleet Air Arm out of a sense of obligation?
Not because of me.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Well, I've never thought so before.
Might explain a few things.
Go on.
Well, you were very successful. Air Force Cross for test flying, CO of Phantom Squadron, transatlantic air race. You're well known in the air arm.
So you think Eddie's fed up of being known as Alan Glenn's brother?
Possibly. Perhaps it's time he thinks he made a name for himself. The court-martial would certainly do that.
Yes, but hardly in the right way.
Well, I don't know.
What do you mean?
Well, if his past record saves him and he goes on flying, he'll have a reputation of his own. You'll be the Glenn who was always cool and competent and flew to the limits. But Eddie will be the daredevil who flew faster and lower than anyone else, including his brother. But, on the other hand, perhaps he feels he'll never measure up. Small chance of ever commanding a carrier-borne squadron, even less of getting an Air Force Cross.
So again, he's deliberately trying to get out of flying.
Well, only Eddie can say.
That's the problem.
I'm not saying anything.
You won't have to for some time.
And I'm not going on the stand. Whatever happens, I
Shut
am
up! You'll do what I tell you, when I tell you.
Lieutenant.
Sir?
May I ask who you are?
Lieutenant Caban, sir.
From?
809 Squadron.
You're Lieutenant Glenn's observer.
Yes, sir.
And are you going to glare at me all day?
Sir?
If looks could kill, Lieutenant Caban, your next court appearance might be at the Old Bailey.
I apologize, sir.
Not at all. We'll compromise.
Sir?
You do the crossword. I'll glare at you.
Bring in the accused.
The accused is represented, sir, by Commander A.D. Glenn, Air Force Cross, Royal Navy.
Admit the prosecutor and audience.
I'm sorry the catering's so basic, gentlemen.
How are they getting on?
Oh, they're swearing in the court now, sir.
Ah, there's the plea.
Yes, sir, that'll be next.
The accused, Lieutenant Edward Adrian Glenn, Royal Navy, of Her Majesty's ship Hero, a person subject to the Naval Discipline Act 1957, and at the time of the offences specified in the following charge sheet, subject to that act. Do you admit to being the person named in the charge sheet?
I do, sir.
Do you agree with your description therein, and that you are now and were at the time of the alleged offences subject to the Naval Discipline Act?
Yes, sir.
You are charged for that Charge 1, Naval Discipline Act, Section 20. On the 9th day of February of this year, you did, when pilot of Her Majesty's aircraft number X-ray Tango 281, willfully fly the said aircraft over Her Majesty's ship Blake at sea in a manner likely to cause loss of life or serious bodily injury to persons in the said ship. On this first charge, how say you? Are you guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, sir.
Charge 2, Naval Discipline Act, Section 12. On the 9th day of February of this year, you did willfully disobey the lawful command of Lieutenant Commander Robert Stanley Huffam, Royal Navy, of Her Majesty's ship Blake, your superior officer, when ordered not to make a low pass over Her Majesty's ship Blake. On this second charge, how say you? Are you guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, sir.
May the accused sit, sir.
Please.
The circumstantial letter which I'm about to read is an ex parte statement of the facts as the prosecution believes them to exist. Some or all of these facts may well be in dispute.
Stuck?
7 letters, sir. Unfriendly heavenly body on a small French island.
Hostile.
Thank you, sir.
The circumstantial letter is addressed to Commander-in-Chief Fleet and reads as follows. Sir, I regret to report the following circumstances with a view to the trial by court-martial of Lieutenant Edward Adrian Glenn, Royal Navy, hereinafter described as the accused. The accused was, on the 9th of February of this year, and still is, a person subject to the Naval Discipline Act. On Monday, 9th February of this year, the accused was the pilot of Buccaneer aircraft X-ray Tango 281, engaged in an exercise at sea with Her Majesty's ship Blake. The accused aircraft was part of a section of 2, the other Buccaneer being piloted by the squadron's commanding officer, Lieutenant Commander Andrew Buckfast Walker, Royal Navy. The exercise was successfully completed, and Lieutenant Commander Walker requested permission for both aircraft to make low passes over the ship. The request was approved, and the 2 aircraft duly made their passes. Subsequently, Lieutenant Commander Walker requested a final low pass for both aircraft, and this was denied because the ship was about to maneuver. Lieutenant Commander Walker acknowledged the instruction and called the accused Buccaneer into formation. Almost immediately, however, the accused Buccaneer peeled off and dived at HMS Blake. As the ship was turning to starboard, the accused Buccaneer passed very low over the forecastle, beneath the level of the bridge windows and between A turret and the jackstaff pylon. On Monday, 16th of February, the accused appeared before me and was charged with the offences listed on the accompanying charge sheet. The accused was cautioned and had nothing to say. I have the honour to be, sir, your obedient servant, J.L. Cleveland, Commander, Royal Navy.
Lieutenant Commander Huffam, please.
Once more unto the breach.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Are you Lieutenant Commander Robert Stanley Huffam, Royal Navy, of Her Majesty's ship Blake?
I am, sir.
What is your appointment in the ship?
I am the principal warfare officer.
Did you, on the 9th day of February of this year, man a radio net between the ship and 2 Buccaneer aircraft from HMS Ark Royal?
I did, sir.
At the end of the exercise, did you receive a request from the Buccaneers?
I did, sir.
What was the nature of the request?
Just a moment. Were both Buccaneers on this radio net to the ship?
Yes, sir. They had call signs of 16 leader and 16-2. At various times in the exercise, both aircraft spoke to the ship.
Commander Glenn?
If it will help, sir, the defence does not dispute the admissibility of evidence relating to these radio conversations.
Thank you, Commander. Proceed, please.
What was the nature of the request from the Buccaneers?
16 leader requested permission for both aircraft to make low passes over the ship.
Was the request granted?
On that occasion, sir, yes.
And subsequently?
16 leader requested a final low pass.
Now, on this second request, did you take advice from your bridge?
I did, sir.
And as a result, what reply did you make to the Buccaneers?
I denied the request, sir.
Can you remember the words used?
I called 16 leader and said, reference your last negative, must now maneuver for next serial. Thank you for a most useful exercise.
Did 16 leader acknowledge?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No question, sir.
You may stand down.
Nerve-wracking?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Caban, please.
Hope he doesn't glare at the President, too.
Oh, I think it's just the prosecution witnesses who are the enemy.
Did you suffer any form of radio interference during the serial?
No, sir.
Then communications between aircraft and ship were perfectly clear?
I heard them all right. Can't speak for anyone else.
Yes, that's understood. Now, at the end of the exercise, I believe that both aircraft made low passes and that subsequently your commanding officer, 16 leader, requested a final pass.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear a reply to that request from the ship?
Yes, sir.
What was that reply?
Blake came back, said they were changing course, and refused the request.
You heard that clearly?
I did.
Yes, I'm asking you. Now, following the refusal, did you have any conversation relevant to it with the accused?
Yes, sir.
What was said?
I said to the accused, the fish heads are getting windy.
What did he say?
He said, Admiral's probably got a golf match ashore.
What did you understand the accused to mean by that?
I can't say what he meant, sir.
What happened after that?
The boss, 16 leader, called us back into formation. We got there, settled, and...
Go on.
We suddenly peeled off and dived at the ship.
Did the accused warn you of this action?
No, sir.
Did he say anything at all?
No, sir.
What did you do?
I yelled at him a couple of times.
And then?
I prepared myself for possible ejection.
You contemplated ejecting from the aircraft?
Yes, sir.
Why? Why did you think you might have to eject?
Well, sir, for the moment, it looked dodgy.
By dodgy, you mean dangerous.
I didn't know what was in the pilot's mind, sir.
But you assessed the situation as dangerous.
I didn't eject.
Please answer the question. Were you at any time anxious for your safety and the safety of your aircraft?
Yes, sir.
How was this situation resolved?
The accused pulled out of the dive and climbed away.
How low had the aircraft passed over HMS Blake?
I can't say, sir.
Well, did you look at your altimeter from time to time during this incident?
Once or twice, sir.
What was the lowest reading you can recall in feet above sea level?
About 15 feet, sir.
Once you had climbed away, did you tax the accused with his actions?
Yes, sir.
What did he say?
He refused to discuss it, sir.
He must have said something.
He said, forget it. Just forget it.
Thank you, Lieutenant Caban.
Lieutenant Caban, how long have you been flying as observer for the accused?
5 months, sir.
And in that time, has he given you any other moments which you might describe as dodgy?
None, sir.
So in your experience of the accused, the incident was untypical?
Totally, sir.
How did you come to be allocated as observer for the accused?
I asked to fly with him, sir.
And why was that?
I got married about 6 months ago, sir.
Does that answer the question?
I considered Lieutenant Glenn to be the most, well, the safest pilot in the squadron, sir.
And if after this unfortunate incident, the accused returns to 809 Squadron, will you ask for a change of pilot?
No, sir. Definitely not.
You would be happy to fly with him again?
I hope to fly with him again, sir.
Three trays of lunch, 3 beers, Thor.
Right, sir.
Who was the girl, Eddie?
What girl?
One who kept looking at you. In the pink suit.
Oh, Anneke Caban.
Frank's sister?
No, his wife.
Oh.
No, that's where you're wrong.
I'm not implying
Not
anything.
much.
I'm not.
Look, I know what you meant.
Calm down,
Look,
Eddie. All I
Alan,
said-
she's Frank's wife. She chose him, and I accept that, all right?
What do you mean she chose him?
Oh, nothing. Forget it.
Were you after her as well?
After her?
Were you courting her, too?
Look, I'm being court-martialed, and you're supposed to be defending me. Now, can't you concentrate on that?
All right. But we're not doing well.
Frank was good.
Frank was marvellous, but that's all we'll get. Your observer trusts you and would fly with you again.
Well, it's something.
Mitigation. They've as good as proved already that you disobeyed an order and flew dangerously. Eddie.
What?
Do you want to fly again?
Yes.
In the service?
Yes. How many times do I have to tell you?
Until I start to believe you.
Well, you've got no reason not to believe it.
No, except for the fact that you seem hell-bent on getting dismissed from the service.
I am not.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
Are you in pain?
No.
Eddie, what happened in that aircraft?
Listen, I was medically examined, full medical.
Did you pass out?
Oh, don't be stupid.
Did you?
Look, Alan, forget it, please.
Sorry, sir. Had to queue.
Paul, take Eddie for a walkabout. Get him some fresh air.
Now, sir. Aye, aye, sir.
Come on then, Eddie.
Remember, Alan, I've got nothing to say.
HMC request, Lieutenant.
Derek, Captain. Jump in a car and get over here as fast as you can. No, no, no. If I knew myself, I'd tell you. Ah, Monty. Have you seen Paul and Eddy?
Well, that'd be a novel twist, sir. If the accused deserted with the provost marshal.
Well, knowing Paul, they could have gone to the pictures. Excuse me, Morgan. Doctor.
Yes, sir?
Could I have a word with you in private?
Oh, sir, I don't know. I am a prosecution witness.
Yes, yes, I know, but this is general advice.
All right.
Thank you. Alan Glenn.
Tom Gladman, sir.
Sit down, Tom.
Thanks.
Glass of beer?
No, thanks. By the way, I'm a friend of Eddy's.
Good. Now, look, Tom, we can keep this as theoretical as you like, if you like, but we both know we're talking about Eddy.
Yes, sir.
I now think he might have fainted at the controls of the aircraft.
Did he tell you that?
No, but he almost fainted in here just now. He seemed to have a pain in his chest.
Oh, well, that could be emotional stress. The court, the build-up to it, the waiting.
Emotional stress?
Well, it takes people different ways. It's not uncommon for it to manifest itself in pains in the back, sleeplessness, dizzy spells.
And you wouldn't necessarily have found it in a physical examination?
No, sir. Look, I don't know what rules I'm breaking, but I'll tell you. I did wonder about stress with Eddy, whether he was twitched from flying, so I asked Frank Caban.
Go on.
Well, Frank says Eddy's flying better than he's ever done, enjoying it. And you can take it from me that if Eddy was twitched, Frank would be hammering on his CO's door to get his pilot changed.
This emotional stress.
Oh, no, don't make too much of it, sir.
But you did say...
I said the court proceedings could have done it to him. He's on trial for his career, his reputation, his future. He's under enormous pressure. But he wasn't under pressure when he beat up that ship. He's fit, healthy, balanced, doing a job he enjoys. He's single, no marital problems. He's well paid, no financial problems.
You're very sure?
Again, sir, I asked Frank Caban. He and Eddy are more than just pilot and observer. They're cabin mates, friends. They run a show together. If Eddy had a problem, Frank would know.
Thanks, Tom.
I wish I could be more help, sir.
No, I'm very grateful.
Look, it's not for me to tell you how to conduct the defense, but I don't think you'll get very far on medical grounds.
Thanks again, Tom. Come in.
Yes, sir.
Ah, Derek, sit down. Have you ever been in love, Derek?
What?
Have you ever been in love?
Well, I have thought so, at the time.
Let's say you're 24 years old.
Oh.
No, that's... First love, real love, the painful kind. And let's say her name's Anna, and you think she's fabulous. You want the whole world to know you've found her. So you introduce her to your best friend. What happens next?
Anna and the best friend fall in love.
Right.
Eddy?
I think it's possible. I think Eddy is in love with Frank Caban's wife. Now, in that situation, what would you do?
Break with the best friend, down with the girl.
But Eddy can't. Frank and Eddy are cabin mates. They see each other every day, exchange confidences, etc. Frank doesn't know Eddy's in love with his wife, so he talks about her to Eddy every day.
While Eddy can't discuss it at all.
Take it a stage further. Frank asks to fly with Eddy. Permanent crew allocation, because Frank trusts Eddy to keep him alive.
For Anna. So no release for Eddy, not even in the air.
None at all. So how does that leave Eddy?
Oh, crack down the middle, I guess.
Right. Now, I've discovered that emotional stress can bring on dizziness, fainting fits.
What?
I think he fainted. The aircraft went out of control, dived itself at the ship, and Eddy came to just in time to pick it off the waves.
Why didn't he say so?
Only two loves in Eddy's life, Anna and flying. He's lost one.
But people get over emotional stress. It wouldn't ground him forever.
Eddy doesn't know it's emotional stress. He doesn't know what it is, but he does know that he's fit to fly. He's been medically examined.
So if he can sit it out...
If the court doesn't go so far as to dismiss him, he thinks he can fly again. If necessary, see a civilian doctor about the fainting.
Snag is, where's the proof? Why do you send for me?
Have a go at that doctor, but I've done that myself. I've still got a job for you. Anneke Caban.
She here?
Yes, she was in the audience this morning. Waylay her as the court reconvenes.
What do you want to know?
If my theory is right.
Well, thanks very much. How the hell am I going to get something out of us?
Do it, Derek.
And you can offer no medical explanation for the accused's behaviour?
Within the limits of my examination, sir, no.
On the date and at the time of your examination, therefore, would you have passed the accused as medically fit to fly?
I would say yes.
Thank you, Doctor.
I have no questions for Surgeon Lieutenant Gladman that relate directly to the prosecution's examination. I may yet crave the court's indulgence, however, to call the doctor as a witness for the defence.
Very well. You may stand down.
So, that's the theory.
Yes. I think it could be right.
He is in love with you.
I hoped he was getting over it. Perhaps it's just that he's learnt to hide his feelings.
You haven't told Frank?
No. Being selfish, I suppose. I wanted Frank to fly with Eddy. If he knew it could put a strain on them both, Frank might ask to change his pilot.
Might have helped Eddy.
Or destroyed his confidence. There's only one reason why an observer asks for another pilot.
May all come out in court now. Are you prepared for that?
Of course. If it would save Eddy.
And Frank, how would he feel?
Frank would sink the Ark Royal to get Eddy off.
Thank you.
I should have realized. What happens now?
Commander Glenn has to convince the court.
Commander Glenn, do you require an adjournment to prepare the defence?
I would appreciate it, sir. I have 1 or 2 points to clarify.
Very well.
What points to clarify?
Shut up, Eddy.
Right, change the plea to guilty. Mitigate. Call Commander Cleveland.
Right. You, young man, are going on the stand.
I'm not.
You're going to admit that you fainted at the controls.
Will I?
And you're going to explain that because you're an idiot, you thought you'd hush it up and take your chances.
Prove it.
I shall if I have to.
You can't.
Derek, did Anna say she'll testify?
Yes, sir. And Lieutenant Caban.
Testify to what? What are you doing?
Getting my witnesses together.
Anna?
Anna.
Well, what can she tell you? You wouldn't.
I shall.
Not in open court.
It's you or Anna. Take your pick. You can recall a definite preoccupation with your personal problems.
Yes.
What happened then?
I felt suddenly as if I was having a heart attack. My heart started to palpitate very rapidly. I got a severe pain in the chest.
Go on.
I passed out.
What do you remember next?
The aircraft was nose down, about 30 or 40 feet above the sea. I took a moment to recover and pulled her up.
Did you at any time intend to make an unauthorized pass over Blake?
No, sir.
Did you willfully disobey the order not to make the final pass?
No, sir.
And as I see it, sir, he isn't guilty. The disobedience has to be willful, and so has the dangerous flying. If we accept that he was unconscious at the time...
Oh, we're agreed then. We'll acquit him.
With the recommendation that he goes before the Central Air Medical Board, gets this stress thing cleared up?
Right. Shouldn't think they'll get him back in the air again before long. Must say, I don't blame him for fancying Caban's wife. Eh?
Good
luck, Glenn.
Thank you, sir.
Tom?
Afraid you'll have to get yourself another driver for a while. I have to report sick tomorrow.
Frank can go to the medical board with you.
If I don't, he'll never find it. Come on, then. There's a bottle of Scotch at home.
Permission to carry on.
Go on. I'll see you later. And Frank, don't let him drive. Well, gentlemen, you better get back on board. We sail at 0900. Lots to do before then.
It's 0800, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's right, sir. 08.
Since when?
Amendment in this morning, sir.
Signal?
Yes, sir.
Well, I didn't get a copy.
Don't worry, sir. We believe you.